Hey folks, Rob back with another Rob Plays, and this week we're looking at Sprint 1. Now this is going to come out a fair few weeks after I record it, and as I'm recording this only just came out. And, it was originally a game published by Kee Games, an Atari subsidiary in 1978. It's the one-player version of an earlier game called Sprint 2, coincidental, and was converted to the 64, and there's also an Atari 8-bit version by the wonderful Norbert Kehrer. I probably mangled that, and I'm very sorry for that. He's actually done a bunch of cool stuff like the Asteroids emulator on those machines as well. I'd love to cover the 64 version. I might look at the Atari one. But yeah, so here we are. Sprint 1, of course, is basically the, in a way, precursor to Super Sprint. And of course, that means overhead single-screen racing game. So enough of me waffling, let's dive in. So you've got some options there. And essentially what this is he has emulated the original game code, which runs on a 6502 processor, and rewrote all the video and sound hardware to use the 64 VIC and SID chips. Ooh. So the idea here is... So the basic idea is you race around the track, try not to crash. I'm sorry for the really awkward noise at the start there. I might mute the audio for a bit when I post. So the idea is you race around the tracks, hopefully properly, not like me, and you basically, every couple of laps it'll reset the new X course, and the idea is you've got your time limit, so 70 odd seconds in the top right, and you just need to not crash into things. I'm doing a terrible job, I know. This game's actually really tough. I actually think the 64 version's a little faster than the Atari version. I wanted to do a comparison. If I had a bit more time, I probably would have. The big difference is the Atari version is like 1.0, and this 64 version is like 1.1. There's a couple of minor tweaks. You can set how many laps before the course changes, between 1 or 2, which the original coin-op could do, but the Atari version changed every lap. And you could also turn the oil patches off, which is probably good if you're getting used to the game. So, control-wise, like I said, it's Super Sprint style. You use the 5 button to accelerate, left and right to steer, up and down changes your gear. One difference is, I believe in the arcade game it was 4 gears, and here you've only got 3, which is probably a good compromise because, let's be honest, driving on 3rd gear is hard enough. I don't think I want to imagine what it'd be like with the 4th gear. And you can see in the top right, there's my score and time. And I'm almost out of time, which isn't good. And I'm nowhere near the magic 150 points it tells me about at the bottom. And you've got your gear in yellow on the bottom right. And there's just the other details in the middle in green. Now, as I said, I've played the Atari one, but only on an emulator. I haven't had a chance to copy it to my 800 XL yet. And I think the sprites are a little nicer on this C64 version, but the sound is better on the Atari. I'm a sucker for early Atari games that use the Poké chip really nice. Okay, game over now, so you just got to wait before it loops around. So I love the idea of this, of just taking the arcade game code, repatching the video and sound, and in a way, it's emulating this game on our C64. And as I said, Atari. If you want to check it out yourself, I will link it in the description, so you can go check it out. It's just a single file program file for the 64, and an executable disk image for the Atari. And you can just give it a whirl on an emulator or hardware yourself. I mean, sure, you could say it's better to play it on MAME, and it probably is. Because, to be honest, analog controls, the original Sprint arcade game was like a pedal, a steering wheel, and the gears, and it probably is a little nicer. But this is a good little game to play. I'm actually really impressed with the technical idea of it, even if Sprint itself is just a little too tough to be fun. I mean, really, it's the big problem I have with it really is the fact that when you touch an opponent car, you just... But, it is 1978, so it's kind of a bit yeah, you know, it's 1978. My only real problem with this game is that you just suffer too much when you collide into a car, and you can sort of see how Super Sprint would streamline that in, you know, 8 years. Yeah, but this is check out. I don't think it's going to be one you're going to play forever. I'd love to see like Sprint 4 or Sprint 2, so you can have 2 players. Maybe the AI wouldn't be as hectic. But I think it'd actually be fun. Yeah, I'm doing much worse this time around. But it's a fairly simple arcade game, and that's the kind of thing that, you know, is done really well here. And as I said, I love that it's emulated, and, you know, that this is the actual arcade game logic, and it's all running properly. It's amazing. So after that, I'm probably just going to wrap it up with this, when this game ends, which is going to be momentarily. So yeah, check Sprint out. As I said, I'll pop the description below. And with that, you know, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do leave a thumbs up and a comment. Those thumbs up really help visibility. Failing that, you know, if you want to see more, there's a playlist link in the description which has all the other videos I've done. And you want to be notified as new ones come out weekly, subscribing is easily the best way to do that. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.